Hi, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us. Today is a special episode for us. It's our 1 year anniversary, and a lot of things have happened or changed or went on in our lives and yours during the last year. And we're just going to kind of celebrate that, our personal growth and our lives right today. So, Ramie or Jessica, welcome today. And do you have any comments for our 1 year anniversary?
I do.
No. Yeah, go ahead, Ramie.
Okay. Well, I can't believe that it's been a year. Wow. But I look over the last year and I really enjoyed all the different people, all the different folks and their modalities and what they teach and what they believe. And it opened my eyes to new stuff. That was fun. Um, Yeah, I really liked it. I enjoyed it. And I also listened to your podcast with the lady last week when I didn't feel right.
Hmm.
And you're going to do just fine, Miss Carla. You're just going to do fine. you
Well,
you
thank
were
you.
nervous about recording and being in front of an audience, but I think you've come a long way and I think you have the confidence now. So that's a
Well,
good thing.
thank you. Yeah, that I knew that was one thing I didn't do the podcast for that. It was kind of like my husband had said, I think you should do this. And it was like, well, I don't really want to. I don't, especially I didn't want to do it by myself, but it was like, yeah, it sounds like something I should do. It just felt, resonated. It felt right. And so I figured one of the things that would happen is that I would get better at talking in front of people.
Yeah, I think you have, and I think doing it alone, being alone will help. I think you'll do fine. Yeah, and if you ever need us, just call us. So
Well,
yeah,
thank you. Thank you so
you're
much. And
welcome.
yeah, I hadn't, I'll just announce that now because I really hadn't told viewers. I don't think if I said that, I just said there was going to be some changes. The
Hmm.
starting um, the first of the year,
Hmm.
then I'll be doing the podcast solo or by myself, and I'll be having guests most of the time. And anyway, so Ramie and Jessica, thank you so much for being part of my journey.
Yeah, my pleasure. My pleasure.
Thank you.
So, Jessica, you have anything, or is she still there?
Yeah, yep, I'm here. I think it's been a growing experience for all of us. And sorry, it's loud where I'm at right now, but I've also enjoyed getting to know all the people who've been guests, and so it's been great. So many good people out there, and it's fun. I think getting to know them and hearing what they do, and yeah, and it also inspired me to start my own podcast, Carla. So you know that, so
Yes.
that's a good thing too. So, and we've all been in different places in life, and in the past year, I realized I've done the podcast like in 5 different states. So in the past year,
That's
so
cool.
Nice.
yeah, I'm always in a different place. So who knows where it'll take us all next, right? But yeah, thank you. It's been a good year.
All right. Very good.
Yeah.
I thought one thing I would do to, I don't know, as part of our little 1 year celebration, I was going to pull an oracle card. And this deck, I haven't pulled the card yet. I received this deck from one of our guests, Kelly Daniels, who does the Forest
Hmm.
School. And her Blue River Forest experience is in Kansas City area. And both her and her younger son Sam have been guests on earlier, like I think Sam in February, maybe, or March, and Kelly in May, I think the end of May. And so Kelly had given me her deck here. Um, and this is called Wisdom of the Wilds. It's oh, wildflowers, and Kelly is a photographer, and so one side of the card is uh well, both sides, I guess, are photographs of these wild flowers and wild plants that they have around the Blue River Forest area. And then the other side, a friend of hers had helped and did the oracle statements on the other side. And then there's a little book with the message from it. And so, in celebration of one of our guests and our podcast in general, I'm going to shuffle our deck and pull a card to give wisdom for us and our listeners throughout the coming year. A message for us all, and I need to shuffle just a little bit more. I shuffle oracle cards. I grew up playing cards, pitch mainly, but poker some, and so I shuffle my oracle cards like, oh shoot, what happened there? I hit a button, and my screen disappeared. So I'm shuffling my oracle cards like I do a deck of regular playing cards, even though they're oversized. So I'm ready to pull a card here. And I pulled the allium. The allium. And hey, this is really cool. The allium, especially, I'm familiar with the giant alliums, but might be smaller ones too. And before I find it in the book and such, to read about it, you can buy this probably in stores or order from bulb catalogs at this time of year. So if this this plant really speaks to you, then order it and plant it yet this fall, and you can enjoy it next summer when it blooms, I believe. And so I'm going to turn on a side light here to give me a little more light to read. And so I think these are all in alphabetical order. So wonderful. It's the very first one in the book. That made it easy for me. The allium family includes garlic, onions, leeks, chives, and decorative flowers. Alliums have been cultivated for decorative and edible uses and have been foraged for thousands of years. As well as being beneficial for our health, alliums are also good companion plants to grow in the garden. When grown close to other plants, they tend to increase resistance to disease and reduce insect infestation, creating a more prosperous garden. Taking the time to learn about these special aspects of plants, as with all aspects of life, yields many gifts. And garlic is still good to plant this time of year. And the type of onion you would plant this time of year, would probably be the old-fashioned walking onions. Usually regular onions, like green onions, or those that you buy in the store for eating, you would just grow for one season. You'd plant them in the spring and grow for one season usually. But garlic is planted in the fall. My husband planted our garlic a couple weeks ago, and it's up. We've had enough warm weather and rain that they're up and growing. And but yeah, we used to grow walking onions, the old-fashioned kind that form the bulbs on the top of the plant, and then they fall. They're called walking because then the top gets heavy with all the bulblets on top, and it falls over, and then those put down roots. So that's called walking. And the message that the allium carries is, you are the message on the card is patience yields rewards. Ha! Isn't that so apropos to the podcast, right? We've patiently worked throughout the year and are still working, to grow our businesses, to grow us personally in our lives. And it takes a lot of patience. Lots of times it's patience that I don't have on a daily basis. So it's good to grow that patience. And the message is, you are an essential part of this vibrant world. Give yourself the time and patience you need to become aware of your gifts. I'm going to start crying. As you realize your worth, peace radiates from you. Your presence blesses, illuminates, and strengthens those in your community. All you need to do is simply be you. What a wonderful message for us all, right? And that's the allium plant. And again, this is the Wisdom of the Wilds Oracle deck from the Blue River Forest Experience, with photos of wildflowers that grow in the forest area, and photos that Kelly Daniel takes. And her podcast was, I believe, the end of May, and she talks a lot about the forest school and tells her story of how she got into awakening to um, the outdoors, basically, and awakening to what the benefits of and wisdom in the plants are. So very, very awesome. Thank you, universe, for a beautiful oracle card for us today, for that message of having patience with ourselves and with any endeavor we do. So beautiful. And there's one other thing that I was going to do for the for our celebration today. I have a 2 set of recorded biofield sessions. They're available on my website for anyone to purchase. I believe I have them at half price right now at $44 for the 2. And they're ones that you can listen to over and over and over to increase it's tuning for the 360-degree, your biofield, all the senses in your biofield. So it will help you, your intuition, it'll help you in your connection with nature and perception of the world around you. And so that's available, $44 on the website for anybody, but for one special person who will find out on next Monday, anyone that comments on the video, yes, that you would want in on the drawing, or any comment in general, I guess, positive comment, please. Then I'll put those names in a random drawing, and one person will get that set of recorded drawings as celebration for our 1-year anniversary. So I'll put that up again at the end. So where do you all want to go from here? Do you want to talk about how you've grown in patience through the year, or things that specifically challenge your patience? One thing that challenges my patience, I'm very easily, no, I'm going to reword that. In the past, part of me has been very easily frustrated. And I've gotten better through the last few years, but I had an incident with my husband this morning that I got very quickly frustrated. And again, I think part of my my automatically old story response is to crawl in a hole. I'm not good enough, whatever. I shouldn't have reacted that way, getting really mad at myself, getting mad at him for misunderstanding me, blah, blah, blah. And I didn't really do that today. I didn't take it all really good in stride, but I did a lot better than I have it sometimes. But it's a good reminder to have patience with myself, because our growing, the things we struggle with, continue to, even when we clear for him time and time again. We've had those patterns, right? I've had those patterns for over 60 years, and it's like the patterns still show up when I'm triggered by things in the biofield. I meant not in the biofield. Those old patterns are triggered when I have experiences that bring those emotions that we naturally feel. And so my reminder today was exactly like the card, to have patience with myself as I continue to grow. So.
Yeah, and something that comes up for me that I've heard the last couple of years that helps me in those times is you're exactly where you're supposed to be right at this moment. So that I think that ties in with patience, at least it does to me, because instead of wishing I wasn't feeling that way or reacting that way or doing that thing, I think, oh, I'm supposed to be here. This is supposed to be happening. This is a learning experience, and that I think then allows me more patience with myself. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's good. Absolutely. It does allow more patience.
Yeah. What I always go back to is when I was in the ashram and yoga, studying yoga, they always said, and it kind of bothers me at times, everything is perfect as it is right now. Whoa. Now, I have a hard time with that one because when I recognize that I'm being triggered by my family mostly, I try to remember that. Just listen, and don't react, because that's what I normally do. And you crawl in a cave and I'll just run away. I just want to leave me alone. And yeah, and I've grown so much that I think it was a couple of weeks ago, I was speaking with my husband and he was telling me something to the effect that it wasn't that I wasn't good enough, but it kind of felt like that. Okay. So I asked him, I said, so do you think I'm a fake? And he goes, no. But he just was trying to try to give me constructive criticism. And I had to realize that because normally I would cry and then leave. So I was so proud of myself that I really sat there and listened, and we talked and we asked questions, and I'm sure I blew him away because I normally would cry. So it was a wonderful aha moment that, wow, I think we all go back to our wounds pretty quickly, but it's what you do with it when you recognize that you're there again and again and again. And if you could just pause and think of something that you've learned all along the way to help you be still and listen, that it's going to be okay. We're changing our beliefs and our patterns. So yeah, that's good. Yeah, that's what I've learned as well too. Talking about cards, I don't know if anyone knows her, Tasha Silver.
Mm-mm.
And her cards are the wild offering. So it's on the
Oh, yeah.
same topic as your wildflowers. Anyway, so I have the cards and they're just beautiful, just gorgeous. And I've been pulling one every day. So this is Ganesh. And I too, like Carla, cut the deck with the old because I've played a lot of cards as well. And I'll draw one for us as well. And her story is really, really, really enlightening as well. Yeah.
Ramie,
Tasha
I'm just going to
Silver.
interfere just Silverman. What's your
Silver.
last name? Silver.
Tasha
Okay.
Silver. Mm-hmm. All
Okay.
right. So let me pull this card for us and our audience. And I know it'll be just right. But when you said the wildflowers, I thought, oh, that's what I have. I have the wild offering. All right. Contentment. You can learn to rest in what you already have and already are. Suddenly, you remember, I'm right here resting in God.
Mm. That goes right along with patience, doesn't it?
Yeah,
Resting. That's what gives us patience.
right, right. Yeah,
Yeah. Oh, that's beautiful.
yeah.
Um, I'm while while we talk, I'm going to be trying to find the name. It reminded me, doing these cards reminded me of one of our guests that we've had this summer, and but her name is just, oh,
Was she?
yes, I just now remembered.
Oh, okay.
Um,
Is she the one from Lawrence?
yes, Kyle Cranston. And I went to the Topeka, Kansas Spirit Mind Body show, Spirit Mind Body fair, they call it. There's usually one 3 times a year, and I try to go to them. And so I went a few weeks ago to it, and Kyle had a booth there. And so I'd sat down to talk with her, and then I ended up having her do a card reading for me while I was there. And it was um, it was just awesome, really exactly what I needed. So I was just putting in a plug for another one of our guests, that if anyone wanted to look her up and you wanted someone authentic to that does a good job and her heart's in the right place to with the cards, that I would recommend her.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So
We've
yeah,
got a
Ramie, that's all.
comment.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was going
Oh,
to
we
say,
do?
we've got a comment. Yeah, somebody's
Oh, okay.
doing a
I will
puzzle.
look. Ah, good morning. Good morning, JIG. I'm glad you're listening. She's a friend of mine.
Oh,
Um, I mean, everyone's a friend of mine, but this is a good friend that I've known for a few years. In fact, yeah, she was. We've been together now for what, 5 years, 4 years, something like that. 4 years. Been good friends. Um, awesome. Tell your mom hi for us. So anyway,
Well, I know, Carla, you had mentioned uh, possibly me sharing a recipe. I didn't know if anyone needed a new pumpkin pie recipe.
awesome.
I can
Yeah,
share that. And
awesome. Yeah.
it's the fall season. I love all of the foods that are available are so good for you at this time of year. It's good to eat seasonally. And pumpkin, a lot of people like to do the pumpkin pie, and I love it. I usually get the cooking pumpkins and make my own puree. And then it's a really simple recipe, so I will share it, and I actually make my own crust too. It's just almond flour, eggs, and a little bit of salt, and either butter or coconut oil. Um, and then the pumpkin pie itself is just the pumpkin puree, like a pumpkin spice, coconut milk, like full fat coconut milk, and some eggs, and either maple syrup or honey. Very simple, but my favorite recipe. So
Ah,
I'll share
that
that.
sounds really
And
good.
yeah. If anyone needs to switch things up for their holiday desserts to make it healthy.
Yeah, thank you. I've done the pumpkin puree too, not for a few years, but I used to do it. Um, it's I remember doing it when my kids were growing up, and it was like, the pies with the fresh pumpkin puree, however you pronounce it, um, looked so much different than when using the can. It was a darker colored. It was kind of almost speckled a little bit, because of the natural pumpkin through it, and instead of the canned variety, but it had a lot more flavor too. I thought so. Well,
I have a pumpkin casserole.
oh, really? What's that like?
Okay, let me go get the recipe.
I have to admit, I'm not making a healthy dessert for Thanksgiving. I'm making pumpkin cheesecake. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
I do it in a round springform pan, like it's like a 4-inch, 5-inch, 6-inch springform pan, something like that, 9 inches in diameter. And it turns out so nice and pretty, like what you might buy in a specialty shop. It's just kind of fun to make. So.
The pumpkin casserole, you can substitute it with sweet potato if you wish, and it just involves butter and dark brown sugar and baking powder, and then the cinnamon and the allspice. Anyway, you put it all together, you put it in a dish, and then you can top it with marshmallows and pineapple.
Okay.
So if that's something different, I thought I would try.
Yeah, I've done that with
healthy marshmallows.
Huh?
What? What'd you say?
You get healthy marshmallows, or you can make your own.
Yeah.
Have you made your own marshmallows?
I have not, but my daughter has. I usually get the organic ones at the health food store.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that sounds good.
It does. It does sound good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess the other dish I was thinking of bringing for Thanksgiving, my family always does potluck type. My mom makes turkey and potatoes, and everybody else brings and dressing, and everybody else brings something, and I'll be there the night before to help her make some stuff. But so Chris, my husband and I, Chris, we eat vegetarian, so I usually bring a dish that would contain some protein related that we would eat or whatever. And so I was we like a poblano pepper and rice and cream cheese dish that's real good. And I like to throw asparagus in it. We have asparagus from the garden that's in the freezer. So I just put the asparagus and an onion in the food processor and mash it up, and then just stir that in with, mash it up so the peppers are all processed too, and then stir that up in the cooked rice and bake it. So anyway,
do you the poblano pepper? Do you when I had the Mexican restaurant, we would put it in the broiler down below in the oven, and then take it out and then peel the skin. Do you do that?
Oh no, I haven't done that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You get it really, really hot, and it bubbles the skin, and then you peel it off, and then we slit it down the middle, and then we stuffed it with cheese and sauce, and then put it back in the oven.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that sounds good. I didn't know how they make that. When I go to a Mexican restaurant, I usually order a poblano dish.
Yeah, me too. Me too. I love it.
Yeah. No, we just grow them in the garden, and ours don't get near as big as the nice ones you buy in the stores. Ours are usually smaller, and no, we just stick them in the freezer. That's the easiest thing for us when we have a whole bunch of them during the summer, and so then I just process them, and in the food processor usually to get them in small pieces. So if one is extra hot, it doesn't burn me.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, I didn't know you worked did you own the Mexican restaurant?
First I started at a Mexican restaurant, and I was there for 12, 13 years, and then we left and we opened our own place. And that was good until I didn't want to do it anymore. But yeah, I was in the restaurant world for 20 years, 25 years. Yeah.
Well, very cool. I had no idea.
Oh yeah, that's where I learned to speak in front of people, because at Ponax on Southwest Boulevard, it still gets really, really busy. And to get to the bar, I would have to go through a hallway. And as soon as I hit the hallway, I would yell to the bartender. So when I got to the bar, the drinks would be ready. And, you're always, excuse me. I just, I don't have time to be polite, I just have to charge. And that really opened me up. I really just I can not be afraid to talk in front of people. And I did that for 20 some years. So I can get in front of a crowd. So I thank my restaurant days for that. gift. So yeah, but I love chili relleno peppers, and they would make it like I said, but then they would also make it in a soup with rice
Mhm.
and other vegetables. Oh, just love it. Just love it. Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds good. There's comment on the screen. Ganesh, is that an Indian food? Ganesh, what were we talking about?
No, Ganesh is the, let me go get him. He's an Indian god.
Oh, okay.
Ganesh. He's, okay, let me go get him.
Ganesh. I'm learning all sorts of stuff this morning.
I think Ramie's done everything under the sun. She's multi-talented.
No,
I
not,
guess.
not really, but Ganesh.
Oh, okay.
He's Indian, and he's a monkey. I don't know. I don't know what. Anyway, half human, half elephant. Yeah, elephant. Yeah. Anyway, Ganesh is one of the deities. You know, in India, they have they have 1,000 deities. And when I went to the ashram, they would have pictures all around this room where we meditated, and so after the time, they asked us, who did we connect with? And I had two, and one was Saraswati. And Saraswati is a goddess of arts and education. And I thought, whoa, that's me. And then Ganesh I connected with, and Ganesh is the remover of obstacles.
Hmm.
So he has a mantra, and I sing it every time when we go travel or whenever I think of it. And of course, my family thinks I'm nuts, but it really, I think it helps. But you can remove obstacles if you sing the mantra, and it feels good. And I like mantras. So, yeah, this is Ganesh. So, yeah, so that's pretty cool.
It is. Thank you. And thank you, JIG, for that comment.
Mhm.
And Ramie for the explanation.
Yeah,
Awesome.
yeah.
Awesome. Um, while you were, I don't know how this came to my mind, must have been from something you said. The I wanted to plug a couple other of our guests that we've had, um, that I've had other contact with, and oh, one of them just totally escaped my mind what I was going to say. Oh, but the one of them was in last month in October. It now Joe McGonigal, um, who was our guest. I think I'm probably saying his name wrong, but we had a really interesting discussion with him. He's spirit healing, and he had written a book, and he's a former priest. And so we heard a lot of his story and things. And anyone listening can go back in October and find that if you'd like to. But anyway, so Joe and I traded books, and I've been reading his, and our books are like totally different. And but they both involve spirit healing, and they both involve inner healing. And Joe's book is, I think it's called Shadows and Light. It's a story, the first installment of several that he's doing, about a younger boy who is he's growing up, and he's finding out he has all these healing abilities of many different kinds. And if anyone enjoys fiction, um, this is very related to the inner healing and related to spiritual healing of different kinds. This is a really enjoyable book. And that comes from someone I haven't read nonfiction for 20 years probably. I just have gone with nonfiction, so I learn as I go. Um, it feels worthwhile, and so anyway, but I thought, well, I wanted to see. I was just drawn to see what this was like. So I'm really much enjoying it. So I was just going to put a plug in there for his book. Um, that you could find from that. And I'll put a link down below probably on some of these things we talk about today, so you could find them. And the other guest I wanted to talk about a little bit. I don't know why I'm losing names today. Oh, shoot. He was our guest the 1st of September. He talked about his connection with trees. He has a YouTube channel. Are any of you? I'm just totally coming up with a blank with his name. Anyway, he lived close to the area where there was the Hurricane Helene. And so I have been watching his YouTube channel because he talks about his, I'm trying to find it now. He's talking about his experiences and how that's kind of changed his life, or uprooted him shortly after that hurricane came through. And let's see. There's Sammy Vanek. I'm sorry. So again, I'll put Sammy Vanek was his name. And so that was like the 1st of September that he was our guest. And sounds like he's doing well, but it's made a big change in his life because he's kind of traveling now for a bit. And anyway, it's fun to stay in contact, to keep learning from the people we've already learned from. Yeah. So I kind of thought that today maybe, and it looks like it's working out that way, that we could keep it shorter too, since we don't have a guest and we're just celebrating and we don't want to drag out and make anyone get bored or anything. But Ramie has a meditation for us. And so Ramie, we'll turn it over to you, and then we'll talk just a bit and close after that.
All right. All right. So I invite you to close your eyes and take that big, deep belly breath and hold it. And let it go slowly. And feel your body. Feel your body sink down, down, down into relaxation. Let's do that again. Inhale, big belly breath. Hold it, and let it go. And ground your feet into Mother Earth. Anchor your cords, your roots into a crystal or a rock. And just pause here. Feel Mother Earth's energy. I feel love. I feel compassion. I feel acceptance. And then I want you to bring it all back up through the rocks, the mud, the soil, back into your feet, charging up your feet, lighting up your whole body. And then let the energy go out through the crown to the cosmos. So we are grounded, so above and so below. And I want you to go to your heart space and recognize this beautiful fall day. And I want you to set your intentions for today. What do you want to accomplish? And when you intend, it seems to work out best. It sometimes works out better than you could ever imagine. So in your heart space, connect with your heart and feel the gratitude for another day, another podcast, another celebration, And we are grateful, very grateful for the opportunity that we had this time together. And I wish Carla all the best in her new endeavor of a solo podcast. And we'll tune in when we can. And Jessica, I want you to have your desires met with maybe a new career, health, of course, but out of the hospital. And for myself, I hope I can attain my practice. And so we are all grateful, very, very grateful, and we are present. So as we sit in our heart, I just want you to take that all in, and we can sit in the silence for a minute. And bring your awareness back. And I want everyone to know that whoever you felt drawn to, look them up. We've mentioned a few of the people we had the pleasure of interviewing with. And check out your curiosity about them. We have the delight of getting to know each and every one of them a little bit. But most importantly, we had the delight of knowing each other just a little bit more. And for that, we are grateful. So I want to close this meditation with my deepest intention that we all enjoy the holidays and start the new year off in a brand new way, being more present, more compassionate, more loving, and more kind, especially to ourselves. Thank you.
Thank you, Ramie. That was really nice. And our guest here watching, was it the card that you pulled? Was that Ganesh? I know the word was mentioned. I thought, was it part of your wild card that you pulled? Was it, Ramie?
Oh, did I pull Ganesh?
That's what we were wondering. That's what the
Sorry.
person
No, but
watching wanted
on
to ask.
her cards, Ganesh is on every card.
On every card. Okay,
Uh-huh.
that's what it is. Well,
That
you're
is,
right. Yeah.
and 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 she calls the deck wild offerings. So, and with Ganesh, I guess you could get a wild offering because he'll clear the way.
There
Yeah,
you go.
yeah. Yeah, right, Ganesh. Right.
And that kind of goes along with let's see, is it today? Um, Today there was astrological energies involved. It's this evening, Pluto
Right.
moves in through Aquarius and stays there till March the 8th, I believe. And no, for the next 20 years, yeah, till March 8th of 2043. So today's quite a day then, starting that next 20-year
Yeah.
cycle. And then the 21st later this week begins Sagittarius, But you were talking about the wild, bringing something wild or adventurous, and Sagittarius is about heading
Right.
into adventure, right?
Mhm, mhm.
And we all are, right? We're
Yeah.
into new things. That's really cool. That's I mean, the universe, you can't beat the universe and how everything is so synchronistic. And as we go through these changes, to have patience with ourselves, right? and to and the
Oh,
card that Ramie pulled, to rely
uh-huh.
on spirit, right? To listen for that
Yeah,
patience.
yeah. I got some good news. Heath, who was on our podcast,
Yes. Yeah.
he, what Robert Kennedy Jr.
Hmm.
was a well, he's picked for the health,
Health and
HH,
human.
yeah,
Yes.
health, and he has to be approved, but he's looking for people to work with him in the health. And
Mm.
Heath applied.
Awesome.
I
Awesome.
know, I know, that is so cool. And I think we have to vote for Heath. So if you remember, I don't,
Okay.
if you have his number or get a hold of him, and he'll give you the link to vote for him, or maybe I can share it. But I think that is so cool because if you remember, Heath has a strong background in health and wealth. He was at Cerner for 20 years, organizing the health. So yeah, I thought that was good news. So yeah,
Really? Yeah. Another an adventure for Heath. Yeah.
yeah, right. Adventure for all of us. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. JIG, the Carolinas. That was Sammy Vanek. He was
Mhm.
in North Carolina. Uh, his city was hit as part of the Hurricane Helene. Yeah. And so we're going to go ahead and end early today. I've got two banners to show, of course. One is to please like and subscribe to help us grow. And also then, to anyone that watches, comment yes to the video or make a positive comment of some kind. If you want a chance to for your name to be drawn for a free recorded biofield session, and that ends a week from today. I can announce it at the next podcast. So, all right. So, thank you everyone for being with us this last year and for helping us grow and watching us grow and joining your intention with ours. Um, and thank you, Ramie and Jessica, so much for being part of my journey. And we'll talk to you next week.